Hello guys, today we talk about what would if every country was forced to be in one country? What would be the political representation of each country and how would it shape the world? We have a Liberal Party, Conservative Party, and the Islamic countries would likely just form their own political faction, and we might even form more for more. And basically, this is just a coalition. Okay, so for example, a communist party. Okay, we're gonna put a communist party for like China. Okay, we're using pink for communists. So we're using red. Basically, these are gonna be the four major political parties. So liberals. Canada will likely vote for the Liberal Party. Canada is still a very liberal country. So Canada will likely vote for the Liberal Party. Then we have the USA. USA is very interesting because you have a lot. It would probably go by state basis. But liberals do slightly outnumber conservatives in the USA. Mexico, well, Mexico would probably be in the liberal coalition because the governing party is a liberal party. Belize, don't know anything about much about Belize. I just put them in liberal. I know Guatemala, they have a conservative party. Same thing with El Salvador. These two countries would probably vote for a conservative candidate. Cuba would be the first country that just be a communist country. Since it's communist, I know like a lot of these countries are like very conservative. Maybe except for here and Puerto Rico. Oh wait, Puerto Rico is part of the US as well. Considering that South America, it's kind of like I think Honduras is gonna be slightly conservative, and and Nicaragua will be slightly communist. These countries will be probably slightly liberal. Same thing with Colombia being slightly liberal as well. Brazil will be slightly liberal as well. Bolivia will be liberal. Paraguay will be liberal. Ecuador will be. Venezuela is Venezuela. I think these countries are conservative. And Argentina, they voted for the Libertarian. Libertarians are conservatives, so same thing with Argentina and Uruguay. And currently, at the moment, Chile are conservatives countries. Now we're doing the UK and France. Oh wait, France as a whole. Liberals are more popular in the UK, same thing with France, but France is turning towards a conservative. So you might see a surprise upset in France. The Islamic Party will also take some vote shares, but they'll mostly win in these Middle Eastern countries. Again, these countries don't really have much of a democracy anyways, so them voting for these countries voting for a Islamic candidate is extremely likely as well. Yeah, so most of the Middle East will get to Indonesia and the other countries of there later. Also, Spain is gonna become is becoming less liberal. Same thing with Portugal, but they'll still be liberal countries. Andorra, I think, is also a liberal country as well. Also, we can't forget about Monaco down here. Monaco is kind of a rich liberal place. Italy has turned against liberalism, as we know. We also have San Marino. I think San Marino. The the Pope will probably vote for a conservative party. I wouldn't be too surprised. A Catholic. Catholics are often conservative. Switzerland actually votes for conservative candidates, and Liechtenstein will too. Germany, I think liberal conservatives are rising in Germany, but I don't think it will be enough. Germany will still stay a liberal country. Poland, I know, is a very conservative country. Considering that conservatives basically win the popular vote there in Poland, same thing with Hungary, and same thing with the Visegrad countries as well. I think the only one that's really full liberal is Czech Republic. Austria is more liberal. Belgium is, and Luxembourg is more liberal. Now we have these countries. Denmark will probably still vote for the Liberal Party. They're liberal on culture issues, but they're not liberal on the immigration and stuff. Sweden liberals probably still barely win out, but they're losing popularity, and liberals are just losing popularity in Europe as a whole. The Netherlands just elected a conservative government, so I'll put Netherlands there. Yeah, this is based off 2024. Serbia, a lot of these Balkan countries are conservative. Greece is still liberal. Turkey will just vote for the conservative party. Turkey is not really. Same thing with Israel. Turkey is a Muslim country, yes, but Turkey does not really go along with the rest of the Middle East. Same thing with Lebanon. And Cyprus, I think, is a more liberal country. Russia and Belarus are conservative countries. Liberals, I think, do win the Baltic states and Ukraine and Moldova. That is probably the end of the liberals. Okay, liberals are kind of a minority and are kind of losing popularity. Now let's go to Africa. Okay, Africa, here. The Islamic Party, I think, will slightly win in Nigeria since Muslims now make up a majority of people in Nigeria. Same thing with Chad. Burkina Faso. Burkina Faso, I think, is kind of like on defense. Conservatives will probably win these countries down here. These countries are more Muslim, but they're less culturally connected to the Middle East and more culturally connected to Africa. The Islamic Party will probably win these countries. Meanwhile, conservatives will probably win this country, and the Islamic Party will probably win here. So there's almost as many countries in the Islamic Party than there is. Ethiopia is a conservative country. I think Djibouti might vote for a liberal candidate. Then we have the rest of Africa. Most of Africa is just like a conservative Christian, so a lot of Africa will probably vote against, especially a country like Uganda. I think the only liberal countries in Africa, I think, are Namibia and Botswana. Most of these countries in Africa are conservative. And Seychelles is a Muslim country, so same thing with Maldives, as they have it on here. India is a conservative country. Nepal is. China and North Korea are going to vote for the Communist Party, along with Vietnam. These countries down here are going to vote for the Islamic Party, and Kazakhstan will vote for Bali. Korea is a pretty conservative country, but Japan is kind of liberal. I think so. Australia voted for Liberal Party, but the opposite happened in New Zealand, where they voted for a conservative Christian party. Now it's just the rest of the Asia. A lot of these countries, like here, are very conservative, except for like Thailand. The Islamic Party would probably be the dominant political party in these countries. Now it's time for the Pacific Islands. So conservatives would probably win a lot of these islands, as these islands are mostly Christian conservative countries. The problem is finding them on the map, like Tuvalu. And also we have to do the... Oh, we have to do Sri Lanka. Sri Lanka was a liberal country. Iceland, I think, is also liberal. We have the Pacific Islands, too. I think a lot of these Pacific Islands are kind of like all liberal countries. Jeez. Then we have 17 toss-up countries. I don't know. I think... Oh, yeah, we didn't do Ireland. Ireland, I think, is... Yeah, Ireland's liberal. We didn't do the Caucasian countries. I think Georgia is liberal. Oh, wait, Georgia's not a Christian revival. And, yeah, Azerbaijan is going to vote for... Oh, wait. Oh, Djibouti is a Muslim country. It's going to vote for the Islamic Party. So, Islamic Party, the 45, Communists at 8, and Conservatives 81, and Liberals 57. So, basically, Conservatives, especially in Africa, and like Asia and stuff, and now the rising conservative movement as well. Consider that conservatives are also rising in Europe. Europe is kind of like the battleground, alongside America, of the world. We found another Pacific Island. Also, we forgot about Singapore. I think Singapore is a very conservative country, I think. So, yeah, we forgot about Singapore. And yeah, basically, this is the world map. Yeah. It'll be very interesting to see how conflict would go between the political factions. The world political factions, and that's how the world would be. And that's about this video here. Goodbye.